All right, y'all, I have a massive update. Great news for you guys. This statement is out from Tractor Supply. We have extracted the largest concessions in the history of boycotts. If you look at this, this is the first Fortune 300 company in our lifetimes to go backwards on ESG, DEI, and all these woke causes and donations in record speed, mind you, okay? It's been 3 weeks of a barrage of news that me and my team have put out to show the world what Tractor Supply has become over the past 4 years. And that is a company that does not reflect its customers. Today's statement reflects the reality that we are winning the fight to return to sanity. The return to sanity is one that doesn't seek to destroy Tractor Supply. It seeks to restore Tractor Supply back to what America used to be, a sane country where everybody just got to get along and companies did what companies do, make great products, have great customer service, and that's how you win. If you had bad products or bad customer service, you lost. That was the world of meritocratic greatness. You had to live or die on the virtue of your actions. We are getting back to that. Today's statement from Tractor Supply, and I'm just going to briefly summarize this. They admitted that they heard from customers being disappointed in them. They heard them and they understood that they were wrong. And so in essence, they've said going forward, they're going to stop funding all this woke stuff. They're going to stop funding the trans youth organizations. They're going to stop funding the Pride Parade. They're going to stop funding all of these woke causes. And instead, they're going to fund things that are nonpartisan in nature, like agriculture education, animal welfare, veterans causes, being a good neighbor. All of these things are fantastic. Here is one of my favorite parts. They're pulling out of the Human Rights Campaign CEI scores. This woke farce called the Human Rights Campaign that has nothing to do with human rights. It has everything to do with injecting wokeness and the LGBTQ agenda into corporate America. Rejecting this is a massive win and will have cascading effects in many different parts of corporate America. Number 4, eliminate all DEI roles and retire their current DEI goals while still ensuring a respectful environment. This is just called sanity. All of us respect one another in a workplace. And if you don't, that's something that they talk through. You don't need an entire department built around separating and dividing people into different identity groups. All it does is divide one another. And the whole goal of this campaign was to bring people back together, back to a place of sanity where everyone in the workplace could exist without feeling like they were being politicked to or divided along identity group lines. Number 5, withdraw our carbon emission goals and focus on our land and water conservation efforts. This would be my argument to the entire climate issue as it goes in the United States. Why are we talking about something that divides everybody instead of talking about the things that unite us, like conservation, clean water, clean air? If we start there, you fix such a cascade of problems just by focusing on what you can unify around. So I have to give them credit on this issue here because the time will tell whether or not they're for real on this, but I think they're getting the message loud and clear, and I think they also understand that I'm not going to let this go if this is just a statement to try to appease, and I don't believe that's what it is. I think they recognize that they are greatly out of step with their customers, that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are not their customers. They are not walking through the doors to get farm supplies. People like myself and my neighbors are, because we own farms. We actually went to Tractor Supply. I used to go on a weekly basis with my kids up until we discovered what was happening there. That realization, that's something that we're going to see start to ripple through all kinds of different businesses in corporate America. Because ultimately what's been happening is a misunderstanding fundamentally about who the customers actually are. Corporate America has been terribly confused into thinking that it's BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and other corporations like them. Now, those are people who invest in your stock, but without your customers walking through your doors, you are nothing. And so whether the people personally who are behind this believe this in their own personal political sense that this is the right thing to do, doesn't really matter. What matters is we are setting a new standard, and corporations and their CEOs are going to have to reckon with this. They're going to have to understand that they may be next. You may be the next company where there is a large-scale, multi-week or month-long expose on the behavior and culture within your company and how it has broken away from American values. That's something they all have to think about now, and they have to think about if the demographics within their customer base are such that they can afford to be that next company. And I don't think many of them can. There's too many companies out there who depend on your average American who considers all of this wholly out of step with what they believe in. And so that's why I feel like this is significant. I would call it the greatest victory in a boycott that we have ever had. The single greatest. Bud Light never admitted they did wrong. They never said, oh, we're going to change all these different number of things. They didn't really do anything significant, okay? Which is why so many people will never go back. I think this will show people are willing to look at this face value and say, okay, if you're really going to do all these things, then there's considerations to make about seeing it, really play out in actions. And if it does, I think you will see some people go back. I really do. I think you will see that. I know there's going to be those who say they want more. They want firings. They want the CEO. They want all these other things. And I'm going to say this. This is I want to reiterate, the single largest boycott win we have ever had on the right. And it's because it was focused. And I want to tell you what made this boycott different. You know, one of the problems with boycotts has been that they're not focused. The energy's not focused. They're choosing companies that you really cannot get this kind of sizable, really influence around because the customer base is just far too split. So if you go after Starbucks, well, Starbucks, their customer base is split across all these different demographics. So they can weather the storm of a small percentage of that demographic group saying, you know what, we're not coming back. Now, if you get strategic and you look at companies who depend on that middle America vote, they depend on you walking into that store. They depend on you spending money there. Those are the companies where you can extract change first. And as a by-proxy effect, you're going to see other companies start to make changes because they see that a certain type of doing business is toxic. That was the goal with this campaign. None of this would have happened, none of it, without amazing employees in the Tractor Supply local stores who reached out to me all over the country, who do the hard work every day, lifting all this stuff into your cars, helping you out, giving you advice about your animals and your farm. Those people are the ones who came forward and gave me amazing information and leads so that I could tell this story effectively to America about the truth and what had happened over the last 4 years. And Tractor Supply is not a villain here that is solely in itself a company that decided to do this. This is a corporate America problem. It's happening all over the country in so many companies, and Tractor Supply now has an opportunity to restore a model of what a great American company is. This is the single most successful boycott that we have had in our lifetimes, period, bar none. Bud Light doesn't come close. None of them do, because this extracted real concessions back to sanity. I'm not asking them to donate to my political party that I favor. I'm not asking them to donate to my foundation or to pay me or anything like that. We just asked for sanity. And that ask, what we got here, it is significant, and it can be repeated. And I have to thank our subscribers, people who subscribe to my account on X. Those people help make this happen too, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to fund the research efforts with my team for them to research not just this, but every news story that we've been able to bring you guys. Can't thank you guys enough. And if you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing today. It's $5 a month. Last thing, this was ultimately effective because it matters where you spend your money. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, they're not walking through the door. We are. We the people have the ability to make real change happen. That's why I use Public Square when I'm looking for alternatives and places to go. When I find out a company has betrayed their customer base, when I say, I just can't spend my money there, I go to Public Square, I look for alternatives, and you should too. It's a fantastic place to find alternatives and small businesses to support locally. And you know what? Tractor Supply, you should join Public Square too. Start a movement where you open yourself up to people and say, we are not a woke company, we're just a company, and we're here to serve your needs. And that's exactly what you can do if you're on Public Square. You can show people that you are committed to this idea of being out there for the people, just to be a great company again, no politics. Let Tractor Supply be Tractor Supply. It's a farm supply store, and that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be a political operation. It doesn't need to message social values. It just needs to sell great farm supplies with great customer service. So never let anybody make you feel like you're powerless, like you are not powerful enough to make a difference, because every single one of you made this possible. You guys voted with your dollar. You used your voices. You did the two most powerful things that we can do at this point to bring change about. We were focused. We did not give up. We were relentless. We didn't let this last one news cycle. We kept it going and going and going, and we could have continued for another couple months easily, but we did not give up. And that is the truth. We can make change happen together. So don't give up. Have hope. This is a major win, and there are many more to come. With your help, we are going to make many different companies turn back to sanity.